It was especially the fashion to frighten the new boys, the little ones as they were called, who on their arrival would hear so many weird stories about the castle as to make them superstitious and timid to the extreme. They were most afraid of a certain room at the end of a corridor that had served as bedroom to the Emperor Paul, where he had gone to bed one night, quite well, and had been carried out, dead, next morning. The old boys maintained that the spirit of the Emperor haunted that room, and came out of it every night to inspect his beloved castle, and the little ones believed it. The room was always securely fastened with several locks, but to a spirit, no lock or bar is of significance. Besides, it was said that it was possible to get into the room, and this turned out to be true. At any rate, a few of the older cadets managed to get in, and continued to do so until one of them committed an outrageous piece of mischief, for which he had to pay cruelly. He opened some sort of secret aperture into the terrible bedroom, and managed to hide a sheet there. At night, he went there, covered himself from head to foot in the sheet, and stood by the dark window that looked out into Sadov Street, where he could be seen by anyone who happened to be walking or driving past. In playing the part of a ghost, the cadets certainly managed to bring terror upon many superstitious people who lived in the castle, or who happened to pass by it and see the white figure, all taking it for the shade of the late emperor. This piece of mischief continued for several months, and caused a persistent rumour that the Emperor Paul walked about his bedroom at night and looked out on St. Petersburg from this window. Many were certain that the white ghost in the window shook his head and bowed to them more than once. The cadet, of course, was capable of doing these things. All this caused general discussion and prophetic explanations, and ended with the culprit who had caused this anxiety being caught red-handed. He received exemplary corporal punishment, and disappeared forever from the institution. There was a rumour that at one of his appearances at the window, the hapless cadet had the misfortune to frighten some important person who happened to be passing by, and that was why he was so severely punished. To put it more bluntly, the cadets said that the unfortunate boy had died under the rod, and as at that time such a thing was not looked on as impossible, this too was believed, and the cadet himself became the new apparition. His comrades began to see him, slashed all over with a wreath on his forehead, and on the wreath was written the inscription, "I did but taste a little honey, and lo, I must die." The illusion is very touching if one recalls the biblical story from which it is taken. After this cadet's downfall, the bedroom that was the cause of all the terror in the engineer's castle was thrown open and put to such use as to destroy its uncanny reputation. But nevertheless, the tradition of the ghost lived on for a long time. The cadets continued to believe that their castle was haunted by a ghost that appeared at night. This was the general conviction held equally by young and old cadets, with the difference, however, that the younger ones believed blindly in the apparition, while the elder ones sometimes personally arranged its appearance. This did not prevent those responsible for the apparition from being afraid of it. In the same way, false makers of miracles, who produce the miracles themselves, bow down before them and believe in their reality. The young cadets did not know the whole story, about which it was strongly forbidden to speak after the event of the cruel corporal punishment. But among the older cadets, there were some who had been either whipped or flogged, and knew the whole secret of the apparition. This gave the elders great prestige, which they enjoyed until the years 1859 or 1860, when 4 of them went through a very trying ordeal, which I shall relate from the story of one of the participants in the misplaced joke at the coffin.